Right now, about 94% of our state can get vaccinated against COVID. An FDA panel moved us one step closer to filling in the other 6%. It unanimously approved both Pfizer and Moderna vaccines for children under the age of 5. A few more steps remain. Some parents say they feel relief. Others say they've got a little hesitation. It's a decision many parents have been waiting for. FDA advisors have signed off on COVID-19 shots for children younger than 5 years old.
I would have signed up yesterday. I would have signed up for a trial if I knew of any near me.
The FDA panel voted unanimously that the benefits of both the Moderna and Pfizer vaccines outweigh any risks for young children. Pediatricians say the move will offer much-needed protection to roughly 18 million children.
They oftentimes live with various generations of families, family members who may have other illnesses or diseases that would make them at higher risk.
According to the CDC, more than 440 children ages 4 and under have died from COVID during the pandemic. Hospitalizations among that age group have risen during the Omicron surge.
We have to be careful that we don't become numb to the number of pediatric deaths because of the overwhelming number of older deaths.
But some parents are still hesitant about the vaccine.
It's not something I'm willing to give my kids, given the risk of COVID at this point.
A recent study found only 1 in 5 parents of children under the age of 5 wants to vaccinate their child right away. 5 through 11-year-olds have been eligible since November, but less than 30% are fully vaccinated. Approval from the FDA panel is really just the first step. Now the whole FDA has to vote on it. Now if they sign off, the vaccines get an emergency use authorization. Then it heads to the CDC. A panel of experts has to approve the vaccine based on the data. It then goes to the CDC director's desk. It's important to note here that getting through that first FDA panel typically means that the other agencies involved simply sign off as well. Now, sticking with kids and COVID, children between 5 and 11 have the lowest vaccine rate in our state. The State Department of Health says a little more than 25% of kids 5 to 11 have been vaccinated. The next closest group is teenagers at about 50%. Young people also aren't getting boosted at high rates. Kids between 5 and 11 make up less than 1% of people with a booster shot in our state. The CDC approved a third dose for that age group about a month ago. Doctors say they saw a rush for kid boosters in the first week or so, and then it tapered off. Some parents just want to talk to their doctor first.
I've had those conversations in my own practice fairly often about what my recommendation is, and then the parent generally goes ahead and gets the recommended boosters.
The doctor says she expects booster numbers to improve throughout the summer. Now, we've heard a lot of parents that say their kid already had COVID, so maybe they don't really need to vaccinate them. Doctors say you should still schedule a shot for your child. Right now, data shows people fully vaccinated or previously infected have antibody protection for about 6 months. People who got vaccinated have more consistent immune responses to the virus, and depending on which variant you had, you may not have as much protection. Well, the face of America's response to the pandemic tested positive for COVID this week. Dr. Anthony Fauci says he got the virus and has mild symptoms. He's had 2 booster shots. A lot of folks pointed to that on social media. Liz says Fauci is fully vaxxed and double boosted, and that still didn't stop him from getting COVID. Tim compared Fauci's infection to a show getting food poisoning a chef getting food poisoning from his own cooking. Well, this feels like a really good time to refresh what the vaccines are meant to do. They do not prevent infection entirely. They do minimize the effects so that you don't get really sick. Dr. Fauci felt well enough to testify in front of Congress today via Zoom. Another big COVID question going around: who needs an extra booster and who can actually get that booster? Right now, the CDC recommends second boosters for people over 50 or who are immune compromised. The shot should also come at least 4 months after the initial extra dose. People can choose to mix and match. People who got the J&J shot can also get a second booster. The Forsyth County Health Director says it all comes down to your health situation.
There's more cases out there, and you have more chances of catching COVID. So it's especially if you're at your health status, you're more immune compromised.
He says the extra booster helps make sure you have a mild case if you do end up getting infected. The pandemic has lasted a little more than 2 years. Some people have needed 4 shots already. That doesn't mean the vaccine doesn't work. Some vaccines, like the flu shot, for instance, are needed on a more consistent basis. It comes down to how the virus behaves and how the vaccine gets made. COVID has mutated several times now. The booster reflects the need for a bump in immunity. For example, the measles virus, it never changes. So one shot, it can work for a lifetime. Its vaccine got made using an inactive form of the virus.
If you cook the virus, it's no longer live, or you kill the virus, it's no longer live. And so you can use the proteins that come out of it.
She says doctors constantly debate the right way to make a vaccine depending on the type of virus that they're dealing with it. Now, throughout the pandemic, a lot of people said they didn't really feel comfortable getting vaccinated because they felt the process got rushed. Others said they didn't like the mRNA science behind the Pfizer and the Moderna shots. The FDA just signed off on a new vaccine. The Novavax shot got approved after a longer trial period. It was also developed in a more traditional way. It's a protein vaccine. A new poll found nearly 3/4 of Americans said they wanted a developed vaccine this way.
Anything we can do to get people more comfortable to be able to accept these potentially life-saving medical products is something that we feel we are compelled to do.
The Novavax vaccine still needs CDC approval. Another common reason people point for not getting the vaccine, they worry about effects on fertility or pregnancy. That has been refuted many times. Let's go over. Another study, in fact, just came out that shows vaccines have no impact on someone's ability to have healthy children. Yale School of Medicine studied women who received a Pfizer or Moderna vaccine. It did not impact their fertility. We don't want you to miss any of this. All this information is in the coronavirus section of our website. Just go to the homepage and then find that coronavirus tab at the top. It's all posted there.